On today's episode, we're going to cover Larry June and his catalog. Then I'm going to give you my top 5 albums from him up until this point. Larry got his start in the early 2000s, but around 2010 is when he really started to get notoriety. Side note, after the video, type in E40 My Money Straight featuring Juice and Black C of the RBL Posse and tell me who you see. Today, we're only going to cover his more recent run where he dropped 9 solo albums within the last 4 years, 4 of which were in 2019 alone. Also, in that same time frame, he dropped an additional 5 EPs, which we'll cover in another video. Let's go. We're going to start things off with Very Peaceful, released November 29th, 2018. This album had 11 tracks and 2 skits. The production was on point, pretty solid. It's definitely an album you can ride to. But my standouts would be Orange Pineapple, which is my favorite track off the album, as well as one of my favorite Larry June songs ever. Organic Watermelon Juice, 30 Day Run, Sausalito, Oranges on Grape, which is my second favorite track off this album, and then Organic Racks. Next up, we have Early Bird, released February 15th, 2019. This album had 13 tracks. Once again, the production was pretty much on point. My standouts would be Let's Go Eat, Dear Snow, which is my favorite track off this album, and once again, one of my favorite Larry June songs ever. 24K Organic, Real Love, which is my second favorite track off this album. It Can Get Ugly, Still Stacking, and I'm on my way. I would like to give an honorable mention to Booty Girl Club. The way that they flipped that Isley Brothers sample is pretty creative. Here we have The Port of San Francisco, released April 10th, 2019. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. This album is probably my least favorite from him. It had 9 tracks, and the production was cool. My standouts would be Always Want More, which is my favorite track off this album, Thug For It, Let's Get Smoothies, shout out to Polyester the Saint, you did your thing on them vocals, boy, and then 87 Vet. Now here's where things start heating up. Out the Trunk, released September 5th, 2019. This one had 9 tracks and 1 skit. Now that skit is the reintroduction to Uncle Herm and the beginning of the From Uncle Herm series that you'll hear in the beginning of future Larry June projects. The production definitely stepped up on this one. My standouts would be Let's Drive to Vegas, Smoothies in 91. Now this song is my favorite track off this album, but it's also one of my favorite songs from Larry June. That song is ridiculous, and it's definitely a gem. Organic Fatherhood, SLS 30 Days, 2002 S500 Benz, Mason Cafe, Organic Smiles, and I Told You in 07. Good job, Larry. Next up, Product of the Dope Game. Classic album cover, by the way. Released November 19th, 2019. This one had 13 tracks and 1 skit. The production was dope, and it was a good follow-up to Out the Trunk. My standouts, Recaro Seats, which is my favorite track off this album, and that beat is ridiculous. Adjust to the Game, Peanut Butter Ragtop, which is my second favorite track off the album. Organic Secrets, Gotta Step It Up, Numbers Don't Lie, Something's Gotta Change, Organic Tears, and Spilled Orange Juice. Adjust to the Game, released March 4th, 2020. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. After Product of the Dope Game and Out the Trunk, my expectations for this one were high. And this is the one that let me down. This one had 10 tracks. The production, my standouts would be You Can Get Rich, Till Next Time Love, Water in My Plants, Summer Snow, shout out to G Perico, and Financial Freedom. Numbers. Released December 23rd, 2020. Now, this is the album that put me on to Larry June. I was scrolling through Apple Music one day trying to find something new, and I came across this album cover of some dude hanging out of a rag top 50 in the parking lot. I was like, man, I gotta check this out. So I did, and I've been a fan ever since. This album had 11 tracks, 1 intro, 1 interlude. Now, I'm not quite sure if this is considered to be a studio album or a mixtape. Y'all leave it in the comments, but I put it on here like it's an album. The production was fire, super dope. Now, before I begin, the introduction is from Uncle Herm Part 2. Where can you find Part 1? Leave it in the comments. My standouts: Lifetime Income, Unshakable, Still Going, Just Me and You, Organic Work, which is my favorite track off this album. Shout out to Black Sea of the RBL Posse. Thank God for the Trap, Feel So Right, which is my second favorite track. Dear Winter, and Money Still the Reason. Good job, Larry. Orange Print, released June 11th, 2021. Now, all of his previous projects were released under his record label, The Free Minded, but here is where he joined forces with Empire. This album had 11 tracks, 1 intro, and 1 outro. Now, the production definitely stepped up a notch. The album starts out with From Uncle Herm, Part 3. Where can you find Part 1 and 2? My standouts: Tangible Assets, Wait on Me, 6 a.m. in Sausalito, which is a remake of Sausalito from the Very Peaceful album. Intercepted, Organic Respect, You Gotta, which is my favorite track off the album. Grand Nash Chronicles, Escrows and Orange Juice, and Iced Coffee. Yeah, this album was a banger. Lastly, Spaceships on the Blade, released August 19th, 2022. This one had 18 tracks, 1 intro, and 1 interlude featuring Wallow from $1 Million Worth of Game. The production definitely did step up. In my opinion, this is where he started to experiment and change his style just a little bit. The album starts off with From Uncle Herm Part 4. Now, where can you find Parts 1, 2, and 3? Leave it in the comments. My standouts: Private Valet, I'm Him, Things You Do, Another Day Part 2, Still Booming, I'll Make Time, In My Pockets, 5.0 Chronicles, Organic Adjustments, and extra of them. Now, when I said he started to experiment, there's songs like Brand New Machinery, For Tonight, Things You Do, that really don't fit on the project. But again, I think he was trying to expand his horizons. Overall, the album's still a banger. All right, I'm gonna grade these off percentages based on the total number of tracks versus the standouts. Coming in at number 9, The Port of San Francisco, 9 tracks, 4 standouts. Number 8, Adjust to the Game, 10 tracks, 5 standouts. Number 7, Early Bird, 13 tracks, 7 standouts. Number 6, Very Peaceful, 11 tracks, 6 standouts. All right. Number 5, Spaceships on a Blade, 18 tracks, 10 standouts. Number 4, Product of the Dope Game, 13 tracks, 9 standouts. Number 3, Orange Print, 11 tracks, 9 standouts. Number 2, Numbers, 13 tracks, 11 standouts. And you guessed it, number 1, Out the Trunk, 9 tracks, 8 standouts. There you have it, folks. My top 5 Larry June albums up until now. Leave it in the comments about what you think and your top 5. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get this content as soon as it drops. I know he in the lab working on that night shift, so be sure to tap in on my review on that one. Till next time.